Want you to see everything. Want you to see all the lights. Fast cars, shooting stars, all of the.
Welcome inside the Citrus TV studios to this web edition of Orange Press Pass. The madness is well underway this March, and a lack of Jim Boeheim doesn't necessarily mean a lack of the orange in the postseason. Coach Q and the women taking a close one in South Carolina. Syracuse topping number 9, Nebraska 72-69. I'm Lauren Walsh alongside Marcus White and Matt Reil. And guys, just the second ever win for this team in the NCAA tournament. Huge win for this program.
Yeah, only the second ever, but if you ask the sophomores, this is a regular thing. It's nothing special. They've regular appearances now in the tournament. We're used to seeing the men's team there, obviously. We're not as used to seeing the women's team, but it's just starting to become more normal, and that's how you build an elite program. First, you get the regular appearances in the NCAA tournament, then the regular wins, and it starts with a recruiting class like this sophomore class who's setting the tone with these 2 wins back-to-back years.
Yeah, you mentioned it was a big win for the sophomores. You got to think this is a big win for Coach Q. I mean, this guy, when he took over the team 9 years ago, this was not an established program. And, it's taken them a while, and a lot of people have been doubting him. He had a lot of critics. But you know what? I feel like they've won 2 games these past 2 years, and they're starting to pick it up a little bit. I feel like a lot of people don't think he could build the program, but I think he's starting, as you mentioned, he's kind of proving them wrong a little bit right now.
And you mentioned his critics. Probably feels a little good to prove the doubters wrong, especially after that early loss in this year's ACC tournament. Coach Q may be starting to turn the narrative on his postseason performances.
And proving those doubters wrong, lots of big numbers, lots of big players in this game. So let's take a look at Syracuse's top performers.
Who
killing them in the UK? Everybody gonna say UK. Reluctantly, cause most of this press don't.
Lots of big plays in this game. Lots of players to look at. Marcus, who is your top performer?
My top performer is Alexis Peterson in this one. Now, you look at her shot count and you might think, why are you picking her to be your top performer? Yes, she struggled from inside the 3-point arc, only 5 of 19, but she was shooting pretty well everywhere else. 5 of 7 from the free throw line, easily the best mark on the team. Also 3 of 7 from downtown, leading the way from the orange and setting the tone from the 3-point line. And she also led all scorers, regardless of the team, with 5 assists. She did a great job getting her teammates involved and leading the way for SU in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with another guard, the junior, Cornelia Fondren. She had a career high 18 points, and she set the tone, not just with her offense, but with her defense too. Through 2 blocks, 1 steal, really all-around game. Led the team in rebounds with 9. I mean, you don't really see that much from guards. She got to the basket, she was making her shots, and you mentioned Alexis Peterson. She wasn't too efficient, but Fondren, 8 for 14. She had 18 points without even making a 3, without even taking a 3, to be honest with you. A great performance by her, and she really did it all for this team tonight.
And guys, big performances from those 2. Clearly, no problems with Coach Q on that one, but Coach Q tends to be a little hot-headed, and he tends to blow up every game. So let's take a look at what Coach Q's blow-up was for this game.
I'm the bomb and about to blow up. I'm the bomb and about to blow up.
So guys, what really was the tipping point for Coach Q in this one?
Now, I don't think he was as mad about anything to cause an explosion by hitting the scoreboard, but I do think the thing he's going to be really mad at his team about tonight is their free throw shooting. They were 10 of 21 from the free throw line. Alexis Peterson was 5 of 7 by herself. The rest of the team, 5 of 14. That's simply not good enough. I feel like I'm having deja vu. We talked about this so much with the Syracuse men's team. Now we're talking about it with the women's team. But free throws are so important, and especially in close games like this, they really could have pulled away against Nebraska. And if they want to pull away or even have a shot at upsetting South Carolina, they're going to need to hit their free throws.
You kind of said deja vu with the free throws, looking back at the men's team. But hey, deja vu with the 3-point shooting too. I mean, one thing that I think would grind Coach K's gear after this game is definitely the fact that Natalie Romeo, she had 5 threes in this game. And that's a lot. She's a freshman. And if you're Coach Q, you know that she's their sniper from downtown. I mean, 11 for 22 in their past 2 games from behind the arc. I mean, that's a lot of shooting. Like, you know she's going to hit those shots. And I just think, I understand that the zone's not the greatest at, containing the perimeter, especially the 3-point shooting. It's kind of one of its weaknesses, but still, you got to do a better job. This is the one girl you have to close out on, so they just didn't do it.
So you think this was more of an execution problem than a scheme problem tonight?
I think it was a little bit of a mixture of both. I feel like it's more of an execution. I feel like they could have done a little bit more. I think they could have kind of, spread out the zone more. They could have stretched it a little bit. And I think they could have closed out a lot faster on her. I mean, they left her wide open. They gave her all day to shoot. And it's the one person you can't leave open, and they did.
And speaking of defending the guards, Syracuse is doing all of this without Diamond Henderson. Senior tore her ACL in the last regular season game of the season. And Brittany Sykes also out. What does that say about the other guards that are kind of picking up the load that they typically carried for Syracuse?
It really shows how much depth this team has, and I don't think that's something that a lot of us expected going into the season. Tonight, the three starting guards combined for over 50 points. Really made up for a lot of the struggles down low as well. I didn't expect them to have this many options with Sykes down, with Henderson down, but really showing some of their depth at those guard positions.
Yeah, it's something we're not really used to for a Syracuse basketball team this year, depth off the bench. But they've really done that this year, And as you mentioned, over 50 points for the guards in this game, 59 points total. I mean, Butler with 17. I mentioned Fondren with 18. And then you have, obviously, Peterson with 24. I mean, they took over 40 shots combined, and they've just been playing out of their minds recently. And if they keep this up, they possibly upset South Carolina, I think.
And Syracuse will have to keep this up against a tough South Carolina team. So what are your final thoughts heading into that game against the #1 seed?
My final thought is that Syracuse has their long-awaited shot at revenge. A lot of struggles this year against ranked opponents for the Orange. Early season loss in November to South Carolina down in the Bahamas. This has been on their minds all year, especially seeing the success South Carolina had. Syracuse thinks they're close to this team. They're not afraid of this team. And now finally they're going to have a chance to prove that on Sunday.
Yeah, I definitely think these girls are going to get up for this game. I mean, they're going to be excited. But for me, we saw how the guards played. 59 points. You got to get more out of your forwards if I'm Syracuse. That's my takeaway from this game. Brianna Day, she's one of the leaders of this team. She's, led this team all year long with Peterson. Only 1 for 5. I mean, if you're her, obviously you got to make more than, one shot. But if you're her teammate, you got to get her more involved. 5 shots from one of your best players, that's just not enough. You need to get her involved. Isabella Slim, she hasn't really been, used to producing much this year. But even so, for her, you need more than 3 points out of her. I mean, that's just unacceptable. So, you know what? I just think they need to get their guard forwards involved. And if they don't, they're not going to have a chance against South Carolina.
Only 5 field goals from their forwards tonight.
Unacceptable.
A lot of struggles. We said the guards can carry this team, but against a team like South Carolina, you're going to need contributions from all over the lineup.
And we'll see just how the forwards adjust in that game on Sunday. Tips off at 7 p.m. in South Carolina against the #1 seeded Gamecocks. In front of the home crowd, the Orange will have a tough one. It'll be a thriller in South Carolina, sure to be a good game. Be sure to follow us at Citrus TV Sports on Twitter and check out our sports blog at citrustv.net. Be sure to follow us along for all your updates on the game and enjoy the game, everyone.